everyone, welcome back to 25 Sweetpeas. Today I thought I would share a little peek into the studio. So last week I released a whole bunch of new lighthouses in my shop. Think art prints, bookmarkers, and greeting cards. I don't remember exactly how many new lighthouses I introduced to the shop, but I know I did quite a few, like 4 or 5 I think, or maybe just 4 in Florida, and then 1 in each of the Carolinas. And I actually filmed the process on 2 of the different lighthouses, so I'm going to be sharing that over the course like the next so many weeks. In today's video I thought I would show you the illustration process that I had for the North Carolina lighthouse. So I've never illustrated lighthouses outside of Florida until recently, and I just thought it was kind of a fun idea to do some in the Carolinas because they're not too far and they also have really pretty lighthouses. And this one in particular is in North Carolina, and it is located in the southernmost part of the Outer Banks. Now the real Outer Banks, not the show Outer Banks. The show, if you are a fan of that, like I am, that is actually filmed in South Carolina, not the real Outer Banks. So just fun fact. This lighthouse is called the Cape Lookout Lighthouse, and an interesting thing about it is that it has like a diamond pattern on it instead of like stripes or just a solid. I've never done a lighthouse with this sort of pattern on it, so that was kind of fun and different for me to do. Another thing about that, about this illustration, is that I took a different point of view with this one. So this lighthouse is only accessible if you have like a private boat or you find some other source of transportation. I believe the National Park Service has like partnered with a ferry service in the area to actually like get people to the lighthouse. I'm not 100% sure on that. I've never been, but I do believe that I read that. So there are ways you can get to this lighthouse, but the main thing is there's no roads to get you here. You have to come by water. And so for the layout of this illustration, I thought, if I had to go to this lighthouse via water, I would be seeing it from the water first. So we're going to take that perspective of this illustration. So I'm going to pretend like I'm hanging out in the ocean and I'm looking at the island where the lighthouse is located, which is called Hawker's Island, by the way, in case you were wondering. So there's actually no ocean in this illustration, which was a little tricky for me because I love doing that part of the illustration. Also, my process normally starts with the sky base color, then the ocean base color, and then I start adding details on top of that. So my process had to change a little bit. I actually do like the ground, like sand. And so we start with like sand. You can see the different textures on the sand. So like where you get some shells washed up and kind of like that. And then it goes a little bit further and then we get the sand dunes, and then we get some foliage and the lighthouse, and then of course my favorite part at the very end with the clouds. But like the process of this illustration was a bit different for me and out of my normal routine. But all in all, I think it was fun and different, and like I said, it's kind of interesting to branch out to other lighthouses. I'm still obviously doing a ton of lighthouses in Florida. I have not completed all of them yet. We have so many. I think we have like 30 lighthouses in the state. It's crazy. But I am going to go ahead and go up the East Coast, possibly the West Coast. And I'd love to do Hawaii and even the Bahamas, because the Bahamas actually have really interesting lighthouses too. So this was just my first like dipping of my toe into different lighthouses. So apparently there was actually a lighthouse before this one with the same name. It was originally built in 1812, but it wasn't actually tall enough to be used for the purpose of a lighthouse, letting people know that there's land here, don't hit it with your ship. So they actually had to rebuild the lighthouse, and it was originally and officially lit in 1859. So they began construction in the 1850s, and then this one was lit in 1859. So this lighthouse has been around for a really long time. There's also a lighthouse keeper's house on the grounds as well. So if you actually visit the lighthouse, if you get there, via boat like we were talking about earlier, you can actually climb the lighthouse. I believe it's like an $8 fee, which is pretty standard for like a state park to get in, whereas a lot of lighthouses are actually going to cost more than that. I think the St. Augustine Lighthouse ticket is like, I want to say $12 to $17. I don't remember exactly. I know residents are different, possibly, or we were supposed to be and we weren't. I don't know. But $8 doesn't seem like that's crazy to get into a lighthouse. So if you are looking for something fun to do, finding this lighthouse might be fun. I would imagine the views from up top are great because, like I said, this is on an island by itself, not connected to a road to the mainland, and that makes it even more fun, in my opinion. I played around with a lot of different textures and brushes in this illustration because I've been wanting to add a bit more of like a painterly approach to my work. Plus, I was just playing around with a whole different format of illustrating because I was thrown off by the fact that I wasn't illustrating the ocean, which, like I said earlier, is very different for me. But it was a lot of fun. A lot of the lighthouses obviously vary in color, but I always start my lighthouses as white. That way I have some good base to go on, and I know that's probably not, well, maybe that is a lot of people's process. I don't really know. I've never actually watched a video of somebody else illustrating a lighthouse, so this is all I really know. But it was fun to do, and like I said, it was different. Also, I spent a lot of time of the creation process of this not liking it. Like, I was like, this is just too weird. There's no ocean in this. There's a lot of green. It just felt a little off and just weird to me. But then, you know, at the end, I always save the clouds for last. So even though I start with the sky, I just start with like the base color of the sky. I don't put in the details like the clouds, because the clouds are my favorite part. And if I start hating the piece in the middle of it, if I still have the clouds to go, I won't stop because I'm saving the best part for last. And maybe that's a really weird way of doing something, but I've always been one of those people, like, if you had something on your plate at dinner that you didn't really like, you have to eat it first to get it out of the way and save your favorite thing last, which is kind of translated into my art because there may be parts of it that intimidate me, like the greenery, so I do it first. My clouds are my favorite part, so I save those for the end, for last. Very weird logic. There is no real method to that. It's just what has worked for me for so long. So I did a lot of that off camera, and actually I ended up switching the orientation of my camera and filmed a lot of the blue detailing part for like a short and a reel. So if you want to check that out, definitely check out the shorts on my YouTube and my reels on Instagram if you'd like to see more of that process. This lighthouse in particular is now available in my shop as an art print. So I have art prints now available as 5x7s, which are great to just stick everywhere. I love a 5x7 in a larger like 8x10 matted frame. I love them in a regular 5x7 frame, and I like them just like on their own to like pin to a board or something like that. It's just a really nice size. It's affordable art, and it's just fun to have. Then I also made it available as a bookmarker because I absolutely love the framing on this lighthouse as a bookmarker. It turned out so well, if I do say so, and I think it'd be so fun to stick into a beach read. Also, ever since I've just added bookmarkers to the shop, I love turning everything into a bookmarker because they're just like fun. Again, affordable art, affordable ways to support artists that you like because they are affordable, they're small, and you can use them every day. I have multiple bookmarkers in like different reference books, my Lighthouse reference book that I love so much. I have them stuck in some ocean books that I'm reading, and you can just stick them everywhere. Even if you are a person that like does creative journaling, like there's so many different uses for a bookmark, and I really like this one as a bookmark, so I'm going to show you on the screen here. Isn't that fun? Like, it framed so nicely. And the fun thing about our Lighthouse bookmarkers is that if you flip them over, which you guys can see the backside here in the picture, it'll actually tell you the name of the lighthouse. That way, if you ever forget, you will be able to just flip your bookmarker over and you'll see the name of the lighthouse, which I think is really fun. Then that is it at the moment for products with this lighthouse in particular. I have started this new Lighthouse card series where it's a bit of a deconstructed look at the Lighthouse illustration. So you get a peek at the illustration, you get a little look at the color palette, and you actually get to look at the sketch, which I think is really cool. It gives like a skeleton like planning like look to the card, a very like deconstructed Lighthouse card, and I really like it. I've done it for some of the Florida lighthouses that I've already illustrated. I have not done it yet for the Carolina cards, but if you think that is something you would like to see in the store, please let me know down in the comments, and I will definitely work on adding that. I do plan on also adding that to my fair shop, so if you are a store in this case North Carolina, and you would like to carry that card in your shop, you will be able to. I'm gonna do that for all of the Lighthouse cards eventually. They'll definitely be available in fair, so if you're a shop or you want to see these in a shop, let me know and I will work on that. I think that all made sense. I'm not sure. I feel like I'm talking way faster than, I don't know, thinking way faster than words are coming out. Maybe that's it. But I'm really just enjoying this little cloud part. I absolutely love doing clouds. It's so much fun. It's like my favorite part of the process, which I know is silly, but it's also like everything else has gotten to the point where you're like, I like it, or I can't go any further, otherwise I risk hating it. So it's time to do the clouds. And clouds are just so fun. They are like the perfect finishing touch in my opinion. So once I'm done with this clouds, this video is going to end. I hope you guys have enjoyed watching the process of this lighthouse kind of come to life. Like I said, I know the detailing part of the lighthouse was not featured in this video, but it is going to be featured in an upcoming short, so definitely check those out. I'm also going to share that probably on TikTok, probably on Etsy Explorer and Reels and Pinterest, yeah, everywhere, because that is something that we have to do to promote our shops. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this. If you are interested in getting this print, it is available now on my shop. I will have that linked down in the description box down below, and it's available of course on multiple items like we chatted about, but that is officially it. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you for supporting 25 Sweetpeas, and I will see you guys in another new video very soon. Bye!